now we're getting access to more money. Let's move on to the shares, shall we? Okay. Where do we start investing this money? I like some good simple share strategies first. The reason I like it because it's instant. If you can see instant results, I think why we've had success in the Academy and helping people, because they've used strategies that are more instant, where you can see results quickly, you stay motivated then. I mean, there's nothing more motivating than getting more money into your bank account every month. Would you agree? You don't have to worry about staying motivated if the strategies are working for you. You'll automatically be motivated. And then what we're going to do is then develop some longer-term strategies. Now, with shares, anything you know about shares right now, forget about it, okay? Just put it to the side for a little while and entertain some new ideas, okay? Keep it simple. XYZ is the company we're looking at, okay? Let's say XYZ company is on the Australian Stock Exchange. The share price is currently at $16. The question is, okay, we're going to invest in shares, we've got to buy a company, we've got to select a company, and we're going to select what price to buy it at. Most people have no idea how to come up with that decision. Because people don't know how to make a decision, they're lazy, what they want is someone else to advise them. Is that true? What share to buy? They take a hot tip, or they're just going to guess and hope it works out, which is a great recipe for success, no doubt. And in the share market, many people think stockbrokers are share market experts. Many people think that. And I often say to people, why do you think they're called brokers? Because most of them are broke, okay? Not all of them. There is some good ones that actually invest, but they're not trained also. To be a broker, they don't have to be trained to be share investors. Actually, if you knew what it takes to be a broker, you know, they get very little training in that area. So you've got to be aware of that. So what I'm suggesting, you've got to be a good investor. You don't rely just on advice of others. You want to make your own decisions. And two, you don't want to guess. You want to have a sense of certainty. A criteria is what I mean, to know how to make your decisions. So I have a simple criteria in shares. And one criteria you can use is, let's say you could get information, what we call historical data. And that historical data, let's say you can get a 12-month data on what's been happening with XYZ over the last 12 months. And you got that information, which you can get quite freely these days. You can go to websites tonight when you get home, or tomorrow, Australian Stock Exchange, different broking houses, different banks, and they'll have a lot of this information available for you. And this information, let's say this particular share, it shows you the share went up to here, and this is about $19. And then it was worked its way back down. Then it's went back up to here, back down, up, up. So you see that data, etc. And that's all you see. And you can get that information for free, or you can buy some software, you know, $100-odd, and it will tell you how to show you that. To buy it now, to make a decision, to buy that share at $16, do you need to guess or take advice to make that decision? Who would consider buying it at $16? Raise your hand. Okay. Instantly you become a share market expert. Because now you have some criteria to base a decision on. What if I try this investing game and I lose money? What will my friends think? Now, who am I to think I could become a millionaire anyhow? What's wrong with this house I live in? You know? Who do you think you are? You know, that sort of attitude, and people starting to step out. But most people don't have the courage to do the opposite of most people. So fear, you can jot down here, fear will stop people from often buying a share at a good price. Then when it gets up to here, greed will stop people from selling it at a good price. They're like, yeah, we know we should sell it around here, but it might just go another couple of dollars. They don't want to sell and miss out. The greed gets to them. The fear and greed. Can anyone relate to this? Anyone's invested in shares now? Yes, we have to deal with this. Fear, greed. What we're looking at is to buy a share at a low price. That minimizes our risk. And then we wanted to sell it at a good price. And in there we may say 20%. If it does it once, it's possible to do it again. You could buy again, you could sell again. Buy, sell. You can make money in between. Just one strategy we want to follow this. You'd buy, you'd sell, you'd buy, you'd sell. If it did 4 times a year, like in that example, you could be looking at anywhere up to 80% return on your money with no extra risk than just buying a share at a low price. Everyone follow me here? That would be called channeling, if you want to jot that down. That's called channeling as a strategy. Is there shares in the Australian stock market that channel up and down at least 4 times in a year? The answer is yes. Okay? So if you're not sure of any questions are asked in the second session, nearly all the answers to the questions are asked in the second session are yes. Okay? So if you get tired, you just go, yes. Okay? And you'll probably be right. Number 2 is what we're going to look at as a thing called leverage. Drop that down. We mentioned that before. What do I mean by leverage? Well, if you only have $10,000 to invest into shares and you make 20% return on your shares, you're going to make $2,000. Let's say you make 20%. You make $2,000 profit. If you've got leverage, you can get someone to loan you another $10,000, which is very straightforward in the share market. It can be done with anyone. Anyone in this room, if you had $10,000, you can get a loan for another $10,000 within 48 hours, as long as you're 18. Okay? If you're not 18, you may have to get your parents to, sign on the dotted line. Now you've got $20,000 worth of shares. In that example, you'd make $4,000 less some interest you may have to pay. Okay? The leverage can massively expand your income potential. If it's done smartly, it may also increase your risk. That's why it's important that we're going to be buying at a good price to minimize that. Okay? The third step we can look at in shares is a thing called insurance. Jot this down. Insurance. You've heard of it before. Many Australians don't want to invest in shares because they think it is risky. Let's minimize the risk. If you could insure your shares, then you could sleep at night. So they go down, you don't have to worry because they've got insurance against them. Who thinks that would make share investing a little bit safer? Okay? Most people don't know how to do that. Now, if you ask GAO tomorrow, can you insure my shares? They're not going to do it for you. It will be done through a broker. Okay? So, and the terminology is not always called insurance, but it's the same concept. You pay a premium on the market and you get protection. Okay? Quite handy. I won't go into that too much now. Let's look at number 4. If you want to get a little bit more advanced in shares, is what's quite convenient, is what I call it the way down strategy. What that means in the share market, if you're not aware, you can make money on the way down in shares. So why most people are panicking and losing money, you could be making money when a share falls, which is very handy because shares tend to go up and they tend to go down. So if they're going down, you can profit. A lot of great fortunes have been made when a market's crashing. See, once you can learn something like that, it doesn't matter if the market goes up or down. See, I'm not attached. See, in my shares right now, I'm not attached whether they go up or down. I'm not like, I bought them, I hope they go up. If you're hoping, you're doing something wrong. I buy, accept my decision, goes up, down. I don't control that. No matter of thought, focus on the share is going to change anything. I'm unattached to that. If it goes up, I respond to that and change my strategy, make a profit. If it goes down, I change my strategy so I can make a profit. Okay? That's what we're looking at. Now, 5 and 6. Let's get into 5 and 6. Let's go through these quickly. Number 5 is what my brother-in-law does. My brother-in-law is called Simon. So just jot down Simon. We'll explain that in a moment. He didn't have a lot of money to start sharing investing. Has anyone heard from Simon? Heard Simon speak before? A couple of people. And Simon, used to work in the army, work hard, to make money, and then he got sick of that, like many people in the army, and he decided to start investing. He didn't know a lot about investing, so he had to go do some training and learn some things. And he came across a strategy that he was fairly excited about, and it was where he could, instead of buying shares, he was able to control other people's shares. In other words, he would pay what's called a rental. He'd rent other people's shares for a certain period of time, and he could profit quite substantially at times. And he was able, within 6 months, make more, sometimes more money, working, an hour a day with his strategy, sometimes half an hour a day, than he used to make, working 40, 50 hours a week. And then he's able to double and then triple his income at times.